Yes, people, welcome back to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. I hope you're well. Smash that like button. Let's get your comments in, your lineup predictions, your score predictions for this game. Liverpool versus Aston Villa at Anfield, under the lights at 8 o'clock. There's only one fella fresh from the overlap, right? We got him. He's on the channel again. It's Luke Robinson from Up the Villa fan channel. How are we doing, fella?
Yeah, good, mate. Obviously, Villa have just lost in Europe, so not the best. But I'm here, mate. So let's preview it.
Absolutely. Listen, man, we've just watched the Villa game. We are recording this straight after the Villa game, where you lost 1-0 away at Club Bruges. I mean, it was a horrendous defensive mistake, mix-up, miscommunication, schoolboy error. All of those things rolled into one from Tyrone Mings. The penalty is conceded. That's now 3 losses in a row for the Villa. And on your channel, we've just done a preview on your channel, and we speak about this in more detail. But you asked me for my opinion on Villa so far this season. And actually, up until the last 3 games, I think you've been excellent. But we can't ignore the 3 losses in a row. I mean, when are you... Listen, it's almost a silly question to ask. But if the losses carry on, when do you actually go, hang on, we've got to sort this out. This can't carry on. I mean, is it like a mini crisis right now for the Villa?
I wouldn't say crisis. That's quite a big word, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we just lost our way a little bit, really. I think that's what's happening. We played against Bournemouth in the Premier League, and we played really well. You know, they were off the back of beating Arsenal. And we were the dominant team. We were the team pushing. We got the goal late on through Barkley, about the 75th minute. And then we lost our way. We were making silly fouls, kept giving away free kicks. Evan Nilsson scored a goal last kick of the game. And then from that, we've sort of just completely fell off a little bit. We then played in the Cup, and we rotated all of our team, and we lost that game. It was okay. Like, we probably didn't deserve to win, but you know, they played pretty much their first 11. Yeah. Then we go to Spurs. We go 1-0 up at Spurs. We're playing quite well. We're doing a job on them, and then we capitulate second half, and it all falls apart. Then you start having those questions, don't you, after a loss like that? Like, the creativity's not quite there, the spark's not there. We're leaking in goals, and I really wanted a reaction against Bruges. I wanted us to sort of set the record straight. I wanted us to, you know, perform better and react to it and get more creative, etc. And we were just really loose and really passive. And that Tyrone Mings mistake epitomised the whole performance, really. It was just like ponderous, and the whole midfield was like it. And, you know, it was just like Martinez kicks him the ball, he picks it up, he just had that feel to it. And then you look at the manager on the touchline, who's literally like berating everything, and he's so energetic, and you know, he knows that it's not good enough. And it just feels like if the players were reacting to how his demeanor, it's just an intensity thing, I think. And we have been so intense over the last 2 years with Emery. It just feels at the minute it's a bit flat, and I'm not sure why, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's untypical for Emery in any job that he's had to lose 3 games in a row, 3 different competitions as well, all 3 of the losses. And then, like you say, that Evan Nilsson header, it really punctured you, because, like you say, you know, you should have gone on to win that game, really. So, yeah, the last 4 games for Villa have been really untypical of Emery and his start. I said on your preview, since Emery's joined 2 years ago, I have him as top 5 coaches in Europe, full stop. I do rate him that highly. I think in Europe, you know, he might well turn it around in the Champions League. I mean, you've won 3 out of 4. It's a ridiculous, great start for the Villa. So yeah, I think from a Liverpool perspective, we're obviously looking to make that 4 losses in a row. We are fully aware of the threat that Villa cause. Let us know in the chat, everyone that's watching, who are you actually most frightened of? Because if Watkins is on form, you know, he's a 20-goal a season striker. Duran can just pop out of nowhere and score absolute worldies. You've got Leon Bailey, very dangerous. Morgan Rogers in between the pockets. The midfield is strong. And actually, since take away the last 3 games, the defense has been really good as well. Diego Carlos, You know, I think he got player of the month. You know, Pau Torres is someone I rate very highly. Maatson, you know, all over the pitch, there's good players there for Villa. And I think as a Liverpool fan, what we can't do is go, these have just lost 3 in a row, quick win, and then we go onto the beach in international break. It's not going to work like that. Football never does. From your perspective, though, looking at Liverpool, what's impressed you the most, whether it be the results or, you know, some of the individual talent that we've had this season, or is it the manager start? Like from a, you know, a rival's point of view, what are you most impressed about Liverpool at the minute?
I think it's just been the seamless way you've just carried on from Klopp, really. And I mentioned on the preview that we did that you'd expect key players under the Klopp system to be the ones that are the standout players. And obviously we know how good Salah and Trent are and Van Dijk, etc. But I'm looking at like Tsimikas at left back thinking, God, he's really like stepped up. And I can see the coaching must have been there. And Curtis Jones, he's just a different player. Like you've seen the best version of Curtis Jones. So I think that's really good as well. And yeah, you're fluid, you're dynamic going forward. You have got a different style. So I think sometimes when I watch you, the build up might be a bit slower, but then you'll have a mad spell against Leverkusen where you just run through them and blitz them. So I think that's been really good. And I think the fact that recently big managers leaving, a lot of clubs are scrambling around to get back on track. And the fact that he's just gone straight in and got you top of the league, 7 points clear of Arsenal. That's mad that he's been able to do that. And I think, you know, you need a lot of credit, and you'll probably get like, oh, yeah, but you haven't played anyone, etc. But you can't work the Premier League like that. You can lose to anybody. You know, okay, you lost to Forest, but, you know, teams like Spurs going to Crystal Palace, we'd all have that as a Spurs banker, and they end up losing. So I think the Premier League's getting more difficult because there's a lot of teams in and around 7th to 12th that are pretty good as well. So yeah, I think it's admirable really to see what he's done. I don't think anyone can look at it and be like, just looking at it, fuming, etc. You've got to take your hat off to it, really.
Yeah, 100%. Just before we get into our lineup and score predictions, a very important message because myself and Luke will be going live with our sponsors, O'Milly, Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Right, it's a little bit late to have done it after the game on Saturday itself. I'll be doing the fan cams from outside the stadium, but the next morning the dust has settled. Right, we've all had a chance to watch match of the day, and at 11 o'clock Sunday morning, Luke and I will be going on O'Milly to debate this game. As you can see, you guys have followed me over to O'Milly, and I thank you for that. That's my profile. That's the AI avatar that I'll be fighting against Luke with. Luke's got his. Guys, in the chat, just leave it there, Luke. Is that not a Dominic Soboslai's cousin kind of vibes that we're getting here from Luke? I'm a big fan, mate. So good to have you on the app. We'll be debating live 11 o'clock Sunday. I mean, what are we going to be talking about? Will it be a Villa win, a shock win at Anfield, or will Liverpool make it 15 wins out of 17?
Well,
Let us know.
It's gonna be tough in it for Villa, I think, to bounce back. But that's what we've got to do. We've got to hope we can turn up and perform.
And that's what we'll be discussing to see if they did turn up and perform on Sunday. So the link is in the description, guys. Go ahead and download O'Milly. The best thing about O'Milly so far is the debates that, you know, the presenters and the influencers have with each other. You guys can chime in. So you can set your request to join the show. You can actually speak with us on the show and debate with us. And there's got to be a winner. All right. There has to be a winner. So get that link in the description, downloaded O'Milly, fantastic app. And we will see you there Sunday, 11 a.m. Myself and Luke, looking forward to it. Right. Lineup prediction from Liverpool's point of view. We've played our Champions League game. I think we're not really going to have any rumours of Alisson returning until after the international break. Maybe Harvey Elliott as well. Maybe Jota might be back at that stage. Maybe Chiesa might be back at that stage. So we still do have some very important players out. Let's not forget that, what Liverpool are achieving without the best goalkeeper in the world, without a Diogo Jota, who is maybe our most clinical striker. And obviously he can unlock so many doors, and Chiesa's the new signing. So still some big injuries, but we'll go Kelleher in goal, Trent, Konate, Virgil. Oh, do I play Simi or do I go with Robbo in a big game under the lights? I'm gonna just for form wise because he's on it right now and he's got that bit between his teeth. He doesn't want to lose his spot. I will go with Kostas Tsimikas, and that might surprise a couple of you. But again, a good performance last night, and I just think for some reason, whatever reason, Robbo's just not really been up to it in the last month or two. And listen, it's probably the first time in his Liverpool career he's actually held the bench for more than 2 or 3 games in a row. So, players at the top level, they go through these stages. It's now on Robbo, if he wants to sign the new contract, to get his place back. That's just how competitive nature works at football clubs. In the midfield, Ryan Gravenberch, we mentioned earlier, most possession won in the Champions League, most times possession won in the Premier League. So I think he's naturally just deserved his spot to keep. The big question is obviously Curtis Jones, because do you play a Szoboszlai? Because last night Curtis Jones plays, gets the assist, comes off, and Szoboszlai almost goes on to be the legs and almost tire out Leverkusen even more. So I would go with Curtis Jones on form. McAllister has been the one that's dropped off a little bit in the last week or two, Luke, just because he's asked to do so much in that Liverpool team. He has to get up and down. And I think, is there an out-and-out replacement for someone like him in the team? If we still had Thiago, you could whack him in. I don't think Endo replaces McAllister. Endo comes on to shore up things at the end. But I still will go with McAllister, the number 10. And then, interesting this one, because last night he actually played Diaz through the middle because he thought Jonathan Tah, the big centre-back who, last season was one of the best centre-backs in Europe for Leverkusen, he prefers a big target man, be physical with. And I think he didn't want to play Darwin Núñez and play into Tar's hands. So we went with Diaz because you can never grab him. He's always moving around. He's left, he's right, he's dropping, he can run in behind. So it'd be interesting to see if that happens again with a Tyrone Mings, with a Pau Torres, with a Diego Carlos. Maybe you do stick with Gakpo on the left, Diaz through the middle, and then Salah on the right. So we've got options, and obviously you can bring on a Núñez just to ruffle up the feathers a little bit. The subs that I expect to come on, if this team is correct, Robertson will come on for Tsimikas at some point, Szoboszlai will come on at some point, and Núñez will come on at some point. So in terms of depth, legs, batteries, to go 90 minutes and beyond, we've pretty much got every box checked at the minute. So that's my lineup prediction. Let me know in the chat. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Would you change anyone? Let me know. Score prediction time, Luke. I'm going to have to be consistent, aren't I? Because I just said on your channel, I can see you scoring. I can see Villa posing a big threat. I'm going to predict that we have, periods, maybe 5 or 10 minute periods, multiple times throughout the game where we will have to suffer. On the break, Villa are absolutely deadly, and they can, make us taste their own medicine a little bit in that way. So I'm going to give Villa the goal. But I think with the form that we're on, the goals that we're scoring, they're also being shared around. It's not just Mo Salah scoring. Gakpo's got 4 in a week. Diaz got 3 in the last game. So I'm going to go with 3-1. And I think if it is that would be 4 in a row defeats, and then you've got the international break to contend with. Who have you got after the break?
Palace at home.
Oh, Palace again. See, now that's a big mental hurdle now to go and beat Palace after they've just dumped you out the cup. So it's a tough couple of weeks coming up for Unai Emery, as is Liverpool. Straight after the break we play Man City and then Real Madrid, so it doesn't get much easier really, or harder, sorry. So I'm going to go 3-1 again. Is that a little bit over the top? Let me know in the chat. Am I right? Am I wrong? Luke, what's your prediction for the game, mate? Give us it.
I hope we can get something. I think the best we could probably get. Well, you know what I mean? We've shown that we can beat most teams in the league under Emery. We've beat Man City, Arsenal twice. So we are capable of rocking up and winning, but the form at the minute's not great. So I'd go with a 2-2 draw. I mean, you mentioned Alisson. You said the world's best goalkeeper. Martinez.
No. We're not doing this, bro. We're not doing this.
Listen, no,
brother. Nah.
no. Factually,
Don't try this,
bro. the Yashin Trophy for the Ballon d'Or, right, has gave Martinez that trophy 2 years in a row. So he's the best in the world, mate. So,
mate, are you really? I know. Listen, you're a big Villa fan, one of the best Villa fans that I know, and
Yeah.
he's a good goalkeeper. I don't like his housery sometimes, his antics. I saw him at the World Cup a lot. You know, obviously won the World Cup, kept Argentina in it in the last kick of the game. But let's have it right. And this is a hill. Why am I? This isn't even up for debate. And I think bro, the Ballon d'Or.
But
Right, but this is how mad it is, right? 3 massive red flags from this year's Ballon d'Or. Xabi Alonso wasn't nominated for Manager of the Year. I mean, fella, the geezer went unbeaten and won 3 trophies. That's a joke how he wasn't up there. Mo Salah wasn't in the top 30, right? After he scored another season with 30 plus goals. And there was no Alisson. I mean, some of the keepers in that list, bro, I'd never heard of them. I'm like, who does he play for? Right? And I know
well,
Yashin. Yashin's a bit of a helmet as well because he's probably dead now, so rest in peace, whatever. But to have Emi Martinez, brother, come on now. Alisson's the best goalkeeper in the world. Like, let's not do this.
Okay, well, I just thought I'd just point out that he does have the award twice. So,
yeah.
So hopefully he performs and we do well. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult game for us.
I don't know if you're aware, there's a tradition at Anfield where we clap the away keeper as he defends the Kop, mainly in the first half. And there's only one keeper we don't do it for. Well, 2, Everton and Man United. I would never clap Jordan Pickford, like, ever. If it was the last thing that depended on my life, I'd rather die than clap for Jordan Pickford. But I think Emi Martinez will get the clap. Whether he's respectful of it, whether he tries any funny business, bit of time wasting here and there, remains to be seen. But yeah, this is one of. I mean, how many great games have we seen from these 2 teams over the Premier League era? There's been a lot, bro. A lot happens. There's last minute winners. There's drama. It's a good game. This Liverpool Villa.
Yeah, I mean, last season was our last home game of the season. It was the 3-3, weren't it? You were 3-1 up, and Durant comes on and just causes chaos, and we get the draw. So yeah, I think the games have been quite tight recently as well. They've not really been blown away. Probably since
last year at Anfield as well. So we owe you a win.
We had the 7-1 in there somewhere, didn't we, as well?
7-2 actually, mate. Yeah. You rude guy. We scored 2 goals. To be fair, the year after that, I think we went and won 3-1 in a really bad period for Liverpool. Stefan Bajcetic scored. Nunes missed about 5 open goals. So it's always a good game. There's drama, as you say, but having come to think of it, we didn't beat you last year. So we've got to put that right on Saturday night. Guys, just before we go, a quick reminder that we will be going live with our partners O'Milly Sunday, 11 a.m. to discuss the events of the night before, the morning after the night before, if you will. So if you're nursing a hangover from the late Saturday game, there's no better way to further digest content from Saturday night's game with me and Luke on the O'Milly app, 11 a.m. on Sunday. Really looking forward to that. Luke, any last words? Where can we find you? I mean, you're all over the overlap at the minute. Some people love your jeans. Some people don't. That's life. You're doing really well there, mate. And where else can we find you?
Yeah, just on YouTube, UTV fan channel. So we do match previews, reactions, fan cams, etc. So that's where you can check us out.
Yeah, big up, man. And yeah, it'd be great to have a beer one day in person and carry on the little the collabs that we do. It's been really good. So guys, smash that like button. Make sure you go over to the UTV fan channel and watch our preview. It's a belter on there as well. And then subscribe if you haven't already. And if you haven't noticed, guys, we're creeping slowly, just like Arnie Slot's tricky reds. We're creeping up to 50k, right? We're on 47,800. So a little bit of a push would be lovely from you guys before we go into international break. But yeah, massive shout out to Luke. Keep doing your thing, mate. I'm going for 3-1. He's going for 2-2. Who's going to be right? Who knows? I'm sure we'll be discussing the rest on O'Milly Saturday, 11 a.m. Guys, thanks for watching. Take care.